Okay, guys, we're going to be working with something that's similar to our last lesson, but we're going to kind of put it all together. So it's going to be division of polynomials. So when we're dividing a polynomial by a monomial, remember polynomial being two or more terms, and monomial just being that one term, okay? We're going to divide each of the terms by each of the terms of the polynomial by the monomial. So we're going to make sure that we divide basically everything up top by the bottom, okay? So we did this before. However, we're including some more variables, some exponents. So remember, division of exponents with the same base, we subtract, right? So just remember that as we go through it, okay? So once again, we're going to deal with our number or the numerical coefficient, and then we're going to deal with our literal coefficient and the exponents attached to it. So we're going to divide for our first one. We're going to do this first, and then we'll divide the positive 15 W4 next. So if we split this up, we do our numbers first, so it would be 9 divided by 3. And W5 to the power 5 divided by W2. We know that's just subtraction across there, okay? And then for our next term, we have 15 as our number divided by 3. And W4, or W to the power 4, divided by W to the power of 2. And once again, since it's division, we're just subtracting those exponents. So if we put it all together, we would have 3 in that first bracket because 9 divided by 3 is 3. We would have W to the power of 3 because 5 subtract 2 is 3. And then in the other terms, or the other polynomial, the other monomial, we would have 15 divided by 3 is 5. And W to the 4 divided by W to the 2, we know we divide or we subtract. So therefore it'd be W2. And if we put it all together, it would just be 3W to the 3 and plus 5W squared, okay? And that would be our answer there, just by breaking down both of those things and taking one term at a time, we're able to do that. So we don't have too many examples here before you guys get to your work, so we'll just kind of continue to fly through some of these. So again, we're going to do that divided by that, and then afterwards we'll do that divided by that. So the next two I won't do these little circles here, but I think it just shows you that you can't forget them. So I'm just going to continue with it with this one. So the first one we would do the numbers, so negative 10 divided by negative 5, and we'd have p to the 4 divided by p to the 2, plus we have 25 divided by negative 5, so don't forget that negative, and p to the 3 divided by p to the 2, okay? So in this case, negative 10 divided by negative 5 is positive 2. P to the 4 divided by p to the 2, remember we subtract those exponents, so it would be p squared. And then at the other side here, we have 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. And p to the 3 divided by p to the 2 would be just p, okay? So if we put it all together, it would be 2p squared minus 5p. Okay. Give you a sec to write that down. All right, the next one, if we look at the first term, 8y to the 5 minus 20y to the 3, all divided by 4y to the 3. We'd take our numbers in our first one, so 8 divided by 4, and y to the 5 divided by y to the 3. And then we have negative 20 divided by 4, and y to the 3 divided by y to the 3. Okay. And if we look at this one, 8 divided by 4 is 2. Y to the 5 divided by y to the 3, we know we just subtract, so it'd be y squared. And then we have negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. And then we have y to the 3 divided by y to the 3, so anything divided by itself just equals 1. So if we multiply these through, we'd end up with 2y squared. And then remember, we've got this positive and a negative, so it becomes negative 5. Okay? Because all that really happened when you divide one thing by itself is it is equal to 1. And then in this case, negative 5 times 1 was just negative 5. All right, last one before I let you guys go work on this for a bit. Now we have 3 different terms, okay? So we got to make sure these 2 are dividing by each other, these 2, and these 2, okay? So they all get divided by 2m squared. So it's 6m to the 4 minus 8m cubed plus 12m squared divided by 2m. Okay, so once again, we just have a little more writing to do. So it's going to be 6 divided by 2, m4 divided by m2. So we've dealt with the first term. Then we have negative 8 divided by 2, m to the 3 divided by m to the 2. Then our last bracket, 12 divided by 2, and m squared divided by m squared. Okay, sorry for the little chicken scratch at the end there, but it reads 12 divided by 2 and m squared divided by m squared. So if we go through this, 6 divided by 2 is 3. m4 divided by m2, remember we just subtract those exponents. So it'd be m squared plus negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And m to the 3 divided by m to the 2 is just m, because it would be m to the 1, and that is just m. And then we have 12 divided by 2 is 6. And m squared divided by m squared, just like we had in our last example, would just be equal to 1. So if we kind of put it all together, 3 times m squared is 3m squared. And then again, we have that negative and positive, so it becomes negative 4m, and then plus 6. So that would be our division of polynomials by a monomial. So we've taken all the terms up top, we've separated them, and make sure that we've divided each one by the term on the bottom. Okay, so at that, without further ado, you guys can start working away